MS-881 isn't just a chainsaw. It's a roaring juggernaut of raw mechanical power. Standing tall as the most powerful chainsaw in mass production today, it redefines what's possible in logging, felling, and slicing through nature's toughest timber. This isn't a tale about specs and steel. This is about witnessing the MS-881 in its natural habitat, dominating wood like a beast unleashed. The MS-881 isn't for casual backyard pruning. It's engineered from the ground up for the titans of timber, those who wake up before dawn to tame forests. With a beastly 121.6 cubic centimeter engine under the hood, it's essentially the V8 muscle car of the chainsaw world, delivering jaw-dropping torque and power. It carves its way through hardwood like it was foam. Think slicing through a 2-foot thick oak trunk in seconds, not minutes. That's the kind of commanding force we're talking about. Watch any seasoned lumberjack wield this thing, and you'll witness surgical cuts through stubborn timber that would leave other saws stuttering. It's not just a tool, it's a spectacle in motion, an industrial performance machine built to thrill and conquer in equal measure. What's wild is the sound it makes when you rev it. More thunder than chainsaw. Neighbors don't ask what you're cutting, they ask if you're starting a revolution. And when that bar drops into the wood, it's like watching a force of nature meet its match. It doesn't hesitate, it devours. There's a kind of primal satisfaction in watching raw horsepower turn ancient trees into sawdust within seconds. But what truly separates the MS-881 from the rest of the pack? It's that perfect marriage of brutal strength with refined technology. Stihl didn't just throw in a bigger motor and call it a day. They carefully crafted a tool that balances raw energy with ergonomic sophistication. Out of the box, the MS-881 comes standard with a 42-inch bar, already dwarfing most consumer saws. But for the serious pros who want more reach and more authority, it can be kitted out with an insane 60-inch guide bar. That's 5 feet of pure cutting dominance. With this setup, you can tackle logs the size of Volkswagens without breaking a sweat. And it's not just about the length, it's about how that bar works with the engine. The 881's motor is optimized to maintain consistent RPMs and cutting pressure even under intense load. The saw doesn't bog, it doesn't stall, it powers through with relentless efficiency. This is especially useful in remote, large-scale logging operations where reliability is non-negotiable. When you're deep in the woods, miles from a refill, every drop of fuel matters, and that's where the MS-881 shows off again. Despite all that muscle, it's designed to be surprisingly fuel efficient. That means longer runtime, fewer stops, and more productivity. And when you're on a job site where the nearest help is a satellite phone and a dirt trail, knowing your saw won't fail is everything. This isn't some flashy showpiece, it's your lifeline in hostile terrain. It handles the grind, the weather, and the punishment without flinching. Speaking of endurance, the MS-881 is built to be as tough as the trees it cuts. Weighing in at 21 pounds just for the power head, and topping 40 pounds fully equipped with the 60-inch bar and chain, this saw isn't for the faint-hearted. It demands experience, skill, and a good deal of respect. This isn't a machine you casually fire up, this is a commitment. In fact, many veteran loggers consider it a rite of passage. If you can handle the MS-881 without flinching, you're not just another operator, you're a legend in your crew. It's the saw people point to and say, only the real ones use that. There's a quiet reverence in the logging world for anyone who can tame this beast with finesse. Yet even with all that heft, Stihl went the extra mile to make it as comfortable and safe as possible. It features an advanced anti-vibration system that absorbs a significant portion of the shock from cutting. That translates to less fatigue and more control, even over long sessions. And let's not skip over the filtration system. The MS-881 includes a high-performance air filter setup that not only protects the engine from harmful debris, but also keeps it running cooler and cleaner over extended periods. That means less wear, fewer breakdowns, and more time cutting. So how does all this translate to performance? Fire up the MS-881 and the answer becomes painfully obvious. The moment that starter cord is pulled, the saw roars to life with an unapologetic growl. It sounds like a dirt bike and a jet engine had a baby. You feel it in your bones. Once the bar hits the log, the show begins. The chain bites into even the densest hardwood with surgical precision. Whether it's stubborn oak, gnarly walnut, or twisted pine, the 881 doesn't ask questions. It just delivers. The first slice through a thick trunk is a moment of awe. There's zero hesitation. The saw glides through the wood like a hot knife through butter. The chips fly, the motor growls, and suddenly you've got a perfectly round wooden disc that looks more like it came from a factory than a forest floor. And let's be honest, there's something almost hypnotic about watching that process. It's not just cutting wood, it's watching raw nature submit to precision engineering. You You hear the engine, see the chips fly, and feel the vibration in your boots. It's the kind of power that makes people stop what they're doing just to watch. But it's not just the power that impresses, it's the precision. Even with a 60-inch bar, the MS881 handles like a scalpel in the hands of a pro. It produces clean, round cookies that are uniform and smooth. These aren't jagged cuts from a brute force tool. These are flawless slices that you could hang on a wall. You know a saw is legit when the woodworkers start asking for your offcuts. That's right, people have taken slabs cut by the MS881 and turned them into furniture, art, and even coffee table centerpieces. That level of finish, from a chainsaw no less, turns skeptics into believers. It's a whole new respect for what a power tool can deliver. And the best part, the saw doesn't slow down. Even after multiple back-to-back cuts through thick timber, it keeps chewing through with the same intensity. The chain stays sharp, the motor stays cool, and the performance remains consistent. Now let's talk about setup. This beast demands respect even before it starts cutting. Mounting a 60-inch bar isn't your average Sunday chore. During initial assembly, even minor errors can lead to massive inefficiencies. In one of our early setups, the bar was accidentally flipped upside down and the chain installed backwards. Rookie mistakes? Maybe, but they happen. And with a saw this powerful, those mistakes can result in wear, inefficiency, and potential damage. And let's not sugarcoat it. Just lifting that 60-inch bar into place feels like wrangling a steel sword forged for giants. Every bolt, every tension check, and every alignment has to be perfect, because when this monster fires up, there's no room for error. Missteps can cost you time, gear, and possibly a trip to the ER if you're not careful. Once corrected though, and once everything was aligned just right, the MS881 was unstoppable. The anti-vibration system kicked in beautifully, reducing fatigue and letting the operator stay in control even when slicing through massive logs. It almost felt surreal, like operating a machine that shouldn't be this manageable. And when it comes to making those perfect cookies, that's where the real artistry begins. Cutting a round, flawless slab from a thick log isn't just about the machine. It takes a practiced eye, steady hands, and a deep knowledge of wood grain. The MS881 gives you the power to do it, but it's the operator's finesse that turns raw power into perfection. In fact, it's almost therapeutic to watch. There's something hypnotic about the symphony of sawdust, the clean sweep of the bar through timber, and the soft thud of a perfect slab hitting the ground. It's like chainsawing meets craftsmanship, rugged work with a graceful finish. It's why woodworkers and machinists alike stop to admire not just the outcome, but the process itself. Still, the saw makes it easy. With each slice, the bar stays steady, the engine maintains its rhythm, and the chain tracks straight. Even tricky knots or dense centers don't phase it. The resulting cuts stack up cleanly, each one looking like it came from a template. This blend of artistry and aggression is what makes the Stihl MS881 so mesmerizing to watch. It's a chainsaw, yes, but it's also a performance piece. Each roar, each cut, each perfect slab is a tribute to engineering brilliance and the skill of the hands behind the throttle. For commercial loggers, timber experts, or anyone who works in extreme conditions, the MS881 is more than a tool. It's an investment in performance, efficiency, and reliability. It cuts faster, cleaner, and with more authority than anything else in its class. It's the chainsaw that sets the standard and dares others to catch up. In a world full of noisy, underwhelming machines, the Stihl MS881 is the thunderclap in the forest. It doesn't just make cuts, it makes statements. So what do you think? Could you handle the might of the MS881? Or is this chainsaw too intense for your kind of work? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you ever consider upgrading to this beast? Or do you already own one and have a story to share? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more incredible chainsaw action, expert insights, and behind-the-scenes footage of heavy-duty machines doing what they do best. This is where the loudest, toughest, most thrilling tools come to life. Subscribe now to Rare Chainsaw and keep your adrenaline high and your bar oil full.